first club, Magdalena, opened in February 2012. The new location opened in February 2016.
Hinter Magdalena stehen eigentlich 3 Freunde. Das sind Christian, Jörn und ich. Ja, und eigentlich sind wir schon eine große Familie.
Magdalena is a club where the music is the main thing.
We love to be known in the world to be a statement for the techno culture. We are really serious about sound.
Und wir trennen das immer mit den Styles. Im unteren Bereich eher Techno und im oberen eher Tech, Deep House. Wir hatten jetzt auch schon seit der Eröffnung große Namen wie Marco Bailey, DJ Rush, George Morell, Christian Smith. Das Besondere an Magdalena ist jetzt aktuell die neue Anlage. Also das ist jetzt ein ganz großer Anteil daran. Deswegen kommen viele Leute her.
It's just about dancing, it's about music, it's about Berlin techno, especially the room downstairs. You can't sit anywhere, there's no bar in here. It's different to any other club.
It's a very uncommon experience to have a room where it's purely dedicated to sound. You really have the full scale of the system working in a room. You're not determined by, well, there's bar staff working in this area, your level has to be 95 dB. If you've got a room which is purely for dancing, the focus then is pure sound. The rewards from that for the club owners and also for the clubber, the experience they're going to engaging is going to be somewhat different to anywhere else.
Also wir hatten mit unseren Technikern eine ganze Zeit überlegt, was wir im neuen Laden anders machen können, von der Musikanlage her.
We want to be different. How can we be different? We don't want the club sound to be like in other clubs we know, where you can mix your own sound by walking around. We want full coverage. You have to feel the same sort of energy and warm sound everywhere. And then we came up with the idea of using Pioneer sound system, the new one, the big one.
The room isn't really excessively large, but a detailed brief from the club owners themselves was purely expressing that the sound has to be even all the way around the room. My initial thoughts was a 6-way system would have been more than ample for the situation. But having said that, looking around at the doorways and the entrances to the room, it certainly was a clear brief from that point that we knew we were working with 8 stacks and obviously enhancing the front area from the DJ console. This sound system is about power, but it's also about the functionality of what the Magdalena Club wanted. It's open its doors on Friday and closes its doors on Monday. And a sound system which is extremely loud, blaring out full tilt all the way through, the clubber is not going to be physically able to withstand that. So the kind of key target here was having a sound system which had full of energy, but equally was very easy in the fatiguing stage. The Magdalena Club, the installation includes 8 GS Wave stacks, 4 GS Wave subs, 2 which are installed side by side in front of the DJ console, 2 at the rear of the room separately located, and also 2 suspended acoustic lenses, 1 in front of the DJ console and 1 at the rear. And also 8 tweeter pods hung above the dance floor. DJ console features 4 XY122s and 2 XY218 subwoofers. It's a real luxury in a way that we had an opportunity to work with the owners of the club and the sound system at the same time, opposed to here's the finished room, what sound system should I buy for my club?
When we took it on, it was just a beautiful building from the outside. So we stripped the building totally from the inside and concreted the columns and the floors back in.
There was a particular attention paid from the club point of view about sound spillage. And also they wanted to contain the energy in the room. So it was very apparent from the beginning that we needed to work as much as we could on acoustic absorption in the room.
We had to close window gaps. We have a soundproof installation on the walls.
Excessively large tiles were added to the walls. Added to that was lac draping, and then finally there was these layered slats which are diagonally angled down to try and contain the build-up from LF on the back wall. So it was a very, very well executed and delivered room before the sound system even was put in place.
I wanted to achieve this sort of pear-shaped sound feeling. Several weeks we did this tuning.
In terms of when I was measuring the system to do the delays, the cancellation spots, we were using different captures of different areas to see where we could work and positioning of speakers, but that was really done by ear, with the DJs and different style of music. You have to kind of rewrite the rulebook somewhat. So the 4 stacks plus the acoustic lens at the front of the console and the one at the rear actually become the sound system. The ones in the corner are obviously a part of the sound system, but these are almost like using as excessively large fills. We noticed that that was the best way to really solidify the sound and the energy in the right places.
It's made a techno sound system.
When you have people entering the room for the first time, our technicians play with them, put on the PA, but without bass. And then they're wandering around, so wow. And then we turn on the bass and like, wow.
Ich war überwältigt, kann man sagen.
I really was crying. All answers were there. The questions are all answered. If you're a DJ and you really want a perfect situation, then you should come here and play here.
Also egal welcher Künstler hier spielt, der findet es einfach nur, die finden es alle nur wahnsinnig.
Especially the DJs which are more into sound and technique.
Für mich klingt er eigentlich genauso, wie ich es wollte. Ich beschreibe das immer gerne so mit dem warmen Bass und trotzdem druckvoll und klar. Also die Anlage ist sehr ehrlich.
When the technicians play on the knobs back there, you have such a bass pressure that you can't even light a cigarette.
Ja, also wie schon erwähnt, für mich als Künstler, muss ich ganz ehrlich sagen, ist das halt einfach eine der besten Anlagen, auf der ich je gespielt habe. Und
now you can walk around the room and on any inch of the room you have the same amount of sound.
Kommt einfach egal, wo man im Raum steht, also ist egal an welcher Ecke, es klingt immer gut.
It was a lot of work to reach that point. Installing and turning and changing, and the result is blasting.
In some particular clubs you can walk into and go, oh my word, it's absolutely amazing. The SPR was so loud, but ask that person in an hour's time how they're feeling and they'd probably be outside that room because they just can't withstand that sheer volume. Of course, that's something we just couldn't do with Magdalena. That's not what the club's about. The sound is extremely powerful, but you can still feel comfortable in the 6 to 7 hour period you're going to be remaining in the room for. Powersoft is definitely a key part of this whole process. The K series particularly enables us to really produce sonically clear high frequency levels without the distortion in the amplifier, thanks to the DSP on board. The amplifiers used at Magdalena were 3 K20 DSPs, 8 K10 DSPs, 10 K2 DSPs and 2 M28Q M series amplifiers. When you're using the Armonía software, it kind of really makes it very easy to adjust the EQ parts for different amps and different areas of the sound system. It's as you would expect it to be in the world of audio. Everything's at your fingertips. We really utilise the IR filters inside the amplifier itself. You're able to monitor the amplifiers like at every stage. We're able to log into the amplifiers online. We can actually see the amplifiers working. If there's anything gone wrong, we get notified by an email or text message. So we can be straight on the case with the club, which is a great feature. Our boxes are voiced to using these products. All of the features inside the Powersoft K-series amplifiers, joined with the GS Wave system, they really kind of worked hand in hand in terms of the smoothness of the installation. All of the Powersoft amplifiers used in the system help to maintain a powerful, consistent sound. With such a small unit and being Class D, the amplifiers can just handle so much power, but yet the current draw is so minimum.
We have huge amps, we have loads of speakers, but the consumption is really low. They are barely on.
Has the power there to produce that level, but we're never going to have that running. The idea why that power is there is because it needs to maintain a comfortable level. If the system was working at 80-70% for that whole time, the heat build up in the amplifiers is never going to continue the same quality of sound. But if it's only working and idling at 25-30% of its capacity, the consistency of the sound is not going to change throughout the night or for the 24 hours. It has its cost implications in the beginning, investing in a system which is only going to run at 30%, but you can run that system maybe 5 to 6 years longer.
We wanted a modified version of the subs so that we can link subs together so that we can use larger amps for more bass speakers.
It was done in a way so we still had the same level of control, but a configuration was done so it really did save them quite a lot of money.
And then we came up with the idea we need the grill at the subwoofer. We thought of bottles or glass going in there and destroying speakers.
And this grill was actually something we welcomed as a fixed part of the new GS Wave system. We're listening to what customers have said, taking it on board for future GS Wave products. Very pleased with how people have engaged and reacted to a system, particularly in Berlin where it's quite critical of sound. We've exceeded all of our expectations from that point.
You won't find another room in Europe or the world that is filled with this energy. And this is really special.
I honestly believe that there's nothing quite like this, an 8-stack system in any nightclub in the world. So if you're ever available to come to Berlin, you need to really check it out because it is somewhat of a totally unique experience.